Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and all of you watching on this live Facebook feed and eventually on YouTube all over the world, welcome to the monthly meeting of the Greater Boston Friends of Camp Constitution here in beautiful Reading, Massachusetts. And before I introduce our speaker, which you can see that's sitting down here right in front of me,
Yes.
just want to mention that our summer camp, and I hope you can probably see the sign in the background here. Next year's summer camp, family camp will be taking place at the Singing Hills Christian Camp and Retreat Center, July 19th to the 24th. This is a family camp. We have entire families that come and unaccompanied minors. And one of our featured instructors will be Alex Newman, who was here not too long ago. He's been touring the country on his presentation entitled Rescuing Our Children. So we're very delighted that he's going to be there with his family for the week. We have Professor Willie Soon, one of the world's top atmospheric scientists, climate realist, will also be there. Also a young attorney from Liberty Counsel, Jonathan, will be there. I got a chance to meet him recently. Jonathan Alexander.
Back, yes.
He lives in Washington, D.C., but he used to live 2 doors down from me in West Roxbury. So, I know you
Lord
didn't...
Monckton is coming back.
And Lord Monckton. I'm waiting for confirmation, but he most likely will be back. He's the British Lord who is another world's top expert on the climate issue, among other things, the Brexit movement. So, our website's campconstitution.net. If you want to help support our activities, please, we have a PayPal account. You can make a donation through our PayPal on our homepage. There's a lady that I actually met, it was last year at a rally in central Massachusetts held by Dave Kopatz, a Second Amendment Flag Day rally, Barbara from Harlem. And we hit it off right on the spot. And she came to camp last year. We were and her lovely daughter, Bibi. She probably can't do much without me. They're just part of the team. She's the author of this great book, Escaping the Racism of Low Expectations, which I hope if you're in this room, please get a copy, and she'll be happy to sign it for you. And you can also get this book on Amazon. And you have a website?
Yes, BarbaraFromHarlem.com, but you can get it from Amazon, Simon & Schuster, Walmart.com.
You're better off getting it directly, though, because then you don't have to give Amazon 20%, right? So it's an incredible book. I encourage it. So Barbara has an incredible story. She was involved with this straight pride rally. That makes her a white supremacist, but I don't know if that's the case. She's from the Southern Belle originally, and there's an account in her book where she had a gunfight with some Klansmen. So Barbara's going to explain some of her. So Barbara from Harlem, let's give her a good welcome.
Thank you, and thank you so much for being, Mr. Camp Constitution. That was, when I went there last year, that was an experience that I'll never forget. Because a lot of young people were there who were being taught how great this country is and about our Constitution. And that's so important for the future generation to know how America was founded, what America stands for. So I must applaud Camp Constitution for the wonderful job that they're doing. And I'm so happy to be here among patriots. All of you must love this country and love the founding of this country, to take time out of your schedules to come and sit here so that we could talk about what's going on in the United States of America, where we live. In my book, Escaping the Racism of Low Expectations, I do have in the first chapter my confrontation with the KKK. That's why I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. Because if you're armed and you're attacked, and we were attacked by a Klansman, and I say we was my brother and myself, but all of my children, including this daughter, was there on site. And this Klansman shot my brother because we went there to speak to him about my son. He shot my brother, so my brother told me, he says, "Sis, he shot me, go get your gun." I had a gun in my car in the glove compartment. So when the Klansman heard that, he turned and he shot me. But by the grace of God, I still managed to get to the car. And when I got to the car and got my gun, he was in the process of getting ready to shoot my brother again. And that would have killed my brother because my brother ended up losing one kidney. But I got my gun and I shot him. Boom! When I shot him, he turned back at me and he shot me again. Boom! And I shot him again, boom. And then when my mother happened to drive up, I don't know how she knew about it, and I told my mother, open the D trunk and give me the shotgun. When I started yelling for the shotgun, because I'm very good, I was very good with a shotgun. And it would have probably been very ugly. But when he heard me yell out for a shotgun, he said, I give. He had a Glock, I had a 22 with hollow points. So, as I said, my brother lost a kidney. But if I didn't have my gun, he would have killed him. This daughter of mine was sitting in the car, and I had an old Buick. One of the bullets he shot at me missed and hit the car where she was sitting. But my old car stopped the bullet from hurting her. If I didn't have my gun, there's no telling what would have happened to us that day. So I am a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. Because when a good guy has a gun and you're confronted with a bad guy, you stop them.
Thank you.
So I can't express it enough and say it enough. These lefties who want to disarm law-abiding citizens need to go to another country. Because this country has given us certain rights, and we're not going to let them dismantle the Constitution. And we have a job to do. Our job is to stand up against them. They're calling us everything except a child of God. They have more sympathy for people who are terrorists, or people like A.O. Crazy, or people like Rash, people like Ill, who don't love this country. But we who love this country and we honor God, they hate us with a passion. They are trying to even destroy our president. He's pro-God, he's pro-Israel, he's pro-life, and pro-Second Amendment. And these are the things that they're trying to dismantle. So we have a tremendous job. I have some friends who, are seniors, like I am, and they say, but what can I do? Listen, if we can't march, we can call. If we can't sit someplace, we can send an email. But we have to do something. We have to get out of our comfort zones and say, America is worth fighting for. They're going to call you every kind of name in the book except, like I said, a child of God. But who cares? They don't define you. They don't define me. Just because I participated in the straight pride parade, I am classified as a white supremacist.
How you do that?
I don't know. I guess all of this brown on me is nothing but a costume. Halloween is over. But we can't be defined by that. And I'm here to say, we have a president in our White House who's fighting for and working for America and the American people. Look at the wonderful accomplishments, in spite of what they're trying to do to him, that he's achieved.
Amen.
And then some people will say, well, he's so brash. Listen, he can't be that brash and be a billionaire. Wouldn't we all love to be that brash and have those resources? He has to be charismatic. He has to be the master of the art of the deal.
Right.
His life shows us that he can get along with people all over the world.
That's true.
And we have to stop letting the media tell us what to think about him. And when I used to work at a newspaper in New York, this was during the Vietnam era, I vowed, because I was a teletype operator, I saw the lies. I saw what was coming from Vietnam, because I'm the teletype operator. It would go to the editor. And when you got the paper in the morning, it was nothing of what I saw last night. So when he calls the news fake, I have known that since the 70s. And I'm glad we have someone who put a name to it.
Right, right,
Because he's not lying.
right.
I can tell you, as a teletype operator, what I saw and what you read did not match. From the 70s, I vowed I would not buy newspapers. And when I went to the crazy college, and that's in my book also, that my daughter wanted me to go to, well, she wanted me to go to college and get a degree. So in 2003, I did. And one of the classes told me that I had to buy the New York Times and answer Maureen Dow's ugly op-eds about President Bush. Well, I told the professor a lie. I told him it's against my religion to buy the newspaper. So then I learned how to go on the internet to complete that assignment. And with the college I went to, our children are under a lot of pressure if they're going to an institution like I went to in New York, where I got my degree in 2006, full of liberals, full of liars, full of nutcases, full of people who wanted to tell you to hate America, full of people who said, write a paper about how you're oppressed in America. Because the students there were black and Hispanic. And the only one I told them oppressed me was their father. That's who oppressed me. America didn't oppress me. I have 5 children and she's the 4th child, and I was oppressed by him. But at any rate, every day that I went to that college, I had to pray to God. I said, dear Heavenly Father, as I go into this den of iniquity, help me to keep my cool. Help me to be dignified. Help me to remain a child of God. And he granted that. But I harassed those lefties with every paper I wrote. I drove them nuts. Almost every day they asked me, when are you graduating? When are you graduating? When are you graduating? But I'm going to tell you, I beat them down because I graduated with a 4.08 average. And that, you know what's sad about that? That's because the younger people I was going to college with couldn't write a paragraph. They couldn't write a paragraph. They couldn't read a paragraph. They couldn't even add 58 and 58. To show you what the educational system is doing to the minds of our young people. They could write, my mother and father were poor because of white people. And I saw the papers because some of them would come to me and ask me to help them, you know, correct some of the English and all of that. And that's what they learned in this so-called College of Higher Education. I call it a place of higher propaganda.
Yep.
That's what it was. So we have to take time with our young people, because from elementary school, junior high school, and college, particularly, minority students are taught to hate America. Every professor I met, they were crazy. Some of them a little less than others, but they were crazy. I wrote a paper, Death by Deliberate Design, and I broke down about Al-Qaeda and this and that. And my well, there was a black Muslim woman in the class, and she got very irritated. I forgot what she said, but like I told her, I said, some people are worshiping the devil and don't know it. So she left me alone. Wow. But the professor, see, that's New York for you. I'm a New Yorker. I just do it, and I'm finished with it. But that professor did say, thank you for preaching. You preached today. Because I would write papers about how God has blessed America. Amen. I wrote papers that said if you sneeze, you need to say, God bless you. Amen. For him to give you another breath. And those people hated my papers. But I could write. Amen. But I could write. And those young people could not write. I was sat in a math class where they were doing tutorial or helping those who was slow in math. The problem was 58 and 58. Now this is a young lady who just graduated high school in New York. And the professor said, 8 and 8 is 16, put down the 1, put down the 6, carry the 1. Carry it where?
Really?
Yes. I sat right there. Sometimes I'd have to do like this because tears would be streaming down my face. I couldn't believe it. 7th grade math. It turned into an argument. Because she said, why you got to carry it where? But they can work a cell phone.
Yeah.
They can work an iPod.
Yeah.
They can do all of that. But they can't read. They can't write. And they don't know anything about critical thinking skills.
Right.
That's why I graduated with 4.08.
Right.
When you go to college.
So I just want to encourage you. Don't worry about what they call you. You're created in the image of God. We are endowed by our Creator. None of them created you. They didn't create me. Let them say what they want to say. You know who you are. Let's talk to our friends. Talk to our enemies. Tell them, come out and vote. We have to get rid of some of these godless heathens that are trying to destroy America, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our lives. Thank God for all of you being here, and I hope that we fight for America with every breath that we have in our bodies. And most of all, let's, number 1, serve God. Number 2, re-elect Donald John Trump as the President of the United States.